that being a dreamer is contagious, that it jumps off on everybody else? It's amazing. You can show me a dreamer and you also show me a leader, but give me a dreamer and throw him in the midst of just people that are followers, and it won't take too long to everybody's wanting to do better, everybody's dreaming better, everyone's thinking better, everyone's talking better, because being a dreamer is contagious. That's why I'm confident that if I just had 4 or 5 dreamers in the house, the rest of y'all are just in trouble. I'm just going to tell you. Might as well just get ready to start dreaming and see things and dream visions and see it all happen and come to pass. But we see here's David. He's in the midst of the men. And everyone's excited. Everyone's is happy. In verse 28, and Eliab, the eldest brother, heard when he spake unto the men. You got to watch the family. And Eliab's anger was kindled against David. And he said, why comest thou down hither? And with whom hast thou left those few sheep in the wilderness? I know thy pride and the naughtiness of thine heart, for thou art come down that there might see the battle. Wow. Isn't it amazing, the older family in Christ? I don't know what age you are, but when I say older, it doesn't really have an age. I mean people that have got elderly in the spirit, in the sense that you haven't moved in so long, you become feeble. You haven't developed in so long that things are falling apart. You've got to watch the older brothers. It said that his older brother heard the excitement, heard the dream coming forth, and got angry. Yeah. You have to be careful connecting yourself with people that never fulfilled their dreams. Because there's nothing more dangerous than to submit to work with, or to live with someone that didn't fulfill their dream because they become a dream killer in your life. It said his anger was kindled. And I believe it has something to do with the fact that he didn't get chosen like his brother did. In other words, it causes me to understand, I've got to evaluate myself for me to understand that not every day is my birthday. And that just because I didn't get prophesied to in that service, or just because someone didn't call me out, or just because I didn't get out of debt like my neighbor did, or just because something great didn't happen to me, as insignificant as just maybe a $5 gift that someone sent me in the mail, it's amazing to me the things that people get upset about. And then want to question God, where are you? I had somebody get mad at me one time because they went out one door and I went out the other, didn't even see them. Got mad because I didn't shake their hand, but I shook somebody else's hand. It's funny. People are funny. Just somebody say, I'm funny. Because you know it's the truth. You can smile and act like it's your neighbor, but you know it's you too. It amazes me. People get angry over little insignificant things. It said his brother was angry and that he spoke against David and said, you know what, you dreamer? Why don't you just forget about it? I know the reason you're here. You've come because you want to feel like me. You want to feel like you're a man. You want to feel like you're the warrior in battle. You've come that you could just see it because you're prideful. As a matter of fact, where's those sheep that you were watching? Go back and tend the sheep. It said his anger was kindled against David. Now watch this, 29. And David said, what have I now done? Is there not a cause? Can we just skip that because that just messes me up? Because life is asking you, what are you here for? What is your cause? What is your dream? What is your purpose? Life is asking you that. You can only answer that for yourself. And he turned from him towards another and spake after the same manner. And the people answered him again after the former manner. Could somebody tell me what time it is? My watch quit working. I don't want to hold you too long. That's bad for you. My watch quit. What time? I ain't even asking you. It's hard to tell. I have a feeling I'm not going to get anywhere near. Is it 12 o'clock? Let's bring this thing to a close. It amazes me because it said that he asked him, is there not a cause? Now his brother took a positive situation and began to turn it negative by his own anger. It begins to tell me a little bit about his brother because his brother was a leader and didn't even recognize it. Because in this sentence, it said, David said, is there not a cause? To the same people that were excited and were with him. And it says they answered after the former manner. The last person David talked to was his angry brother. So it tells me that the negativity of his brother jumped off on everybody else. Because if the positive is contagious, so is what? The negative. And so it tells me to be a dreamer, you have to have a dream that functions independently of support. Romans 3 in chapter 3 says, for what if some did not believe, does it make the faithfulness of God of none effect? Verse 4, God forbid ye let God be true and every man a liar. In other words, guess what? You don't have to believe in my dream. It's bold. Somebody said, you don't have to believe in my dream. It's nice if you do. It's wonderful if you do. It's helpful if you do. But guess what? I don't have to have everyone around me to agree with me for me to accomplish what God's called me to do. And guess what? I don't have to have anything anybody can give me for me to accomplish my dream. Can somebody just let me work it for just 5 minutes, please? Because I have the understanding and realize that God has placed everything on the inside of me for me to fulfill my dream. Because he knows that you'll love me today and hate me tomorrow. And if that was the case, I better just start praying to Brother Oakley. Oakley, can you help me in the name of Oakley? Please just help my dreams come to pass in the name of Oakley. He knows that Oakley might like me today and hate me tomorrow. So God said, I can't allow anything you need to fulfill your dream to be locked up in any one person or any one thing, but it's locked up in me. So that in the midst of negativity, in the midst of people not agreeing with me, I can come to God and say, if God be for me, who can be against me? That just because they're not with me doesn't mean I have to stop and wait on everybody to line up with the elements of my dream. Many people don't line up with your dream till you die. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., when he was on the earth, no one lavished and loved him and talked about him. He was one of the most hated, ostracized, alienated people, not just inside the African American leadership, but people didn't like him because he was different. He was a dreamer. He had a dream. Anybody read the speech? Let's talk about Princess Diana. Princess Diana wasn't someone everyone lavished and loved. She was running from the press when she died, but then when she died, everyone comes with cards and flowers, writing songs and candy. People will never support you until you're dead, because when you're dead, you cease to be a threat. It's the truth. Just swallow it. It's tough. Touch somebody, tell them it's tight, but it's right. And because the traditions of the Western world, where we so embrace democracy, where everyone's opinion is supposed to matter and everyone's supposed to be able to vote, and that's just a subject in itself, because not everyone's opinion is generally heard and it's taken just by a party or a particular sect of people. But it causes me to have to redo my mindset, because many times we think God is a democracy. He's a theocracy. He doesn't take a poll or a vote before he does anything. He just does it because he is God, and besides him, there is none other. So it causes me to have to reevaluate my dream, because my dream came from God and not from you. So in other words, if I'm operating in a democratic state in my dreams, waiting for everyone to vote for me and get with me and get behind me, I can wait my whole life and miss it. But God wants you to get to the place where in the midst of people not agreeing with you, you get so stirred up and so excited that you raise your hands when everyone else is sitting down, that you can run when everyone else is walking, and excitement that causes you to jump when everybody else is standing. Is there anybody here? Is anybody breathing? Anybody alive? I'm looking for some excited people that realize that what's locked up inside of you has nothing to do, on the matter of it coming out, has nothing to do with anybody in the room, but it has everything to do with God. And if you can realize that he can take negatives and turn them into positive things. Yes. Let me tell you this quick story before I let you go today. Not too long ago, my younger cousins, about 9 and 10 years old, they had a digital camera. And they were showing me how you could take pictures, and they were so excited. You could take pictures and then flip it around and look at it on the screen. And I remember when I was about that age, we didn't have digital cameras. And some of y'all didn't even have cameras at all, but I love you anyway. I remember growing up, we had a thing called a 35 millimeter film. And you took the picture, and then you had to take it, and what you got is you got the thing called the negative. And you had to take the negatives to be developed. And the way that they were developed is that you would give them to a trained professional who would take it into a place called the dark room and lock the door, because he was about to expose the negatives. And he didn't want anybody else to see because his eye was trained. Can anybody just let me preach to you for a second? Because the negatives in your life can only be developed in dark places. Yes. Did you know to complete a circuit of a battery, it takes a positive and a negative? If you don't believe me, look at my wife. She starts my battery. But we are so different than each other. I'm going to say she's the positive because it's in front of you all, and I'm the negative. But you wait till we get home. It amazes me because opposites do attract, but there's power in that. Yes. But the problem is, if all you have is negative, you've got to turn some negative into positive. Are you with me? I don't know about you, but I like for the negatives in my life for me to find a positive in some way. And the only way you can develop a negative, it's called develop. In other words, it's a process. It doesn't turn overnight. What's the thing in your life that's a negative source that's pulling from your life source, pulling from your energy, pulling from your thought pattern? What's the thing in your life that you consider negative? Just think about it for the next 3 seconds. You could probably think of more than one. Whatever it is, it has to be developed. It's a process. It doesn't turn overnight. But through the process,